are not knowing, like how program is stored in the memory, and then like how computations actually happens by using processor of computer. So debugging is one of the tasks wherein you will be able to see the value which is stored in the processor's memory. Okay, so you also need to keep track of debugging and maintaining. So if you are developing your program in a systematic way, then it will be very easy for you to maintain that program in the future. Now, what is maintaining of the program? Maintaining is nothing but, if you have developed one program today, it may happen that you will be asked to make few changes in the same program. So whenever whenever changes are to be done in the program, you should be easily able to reflect those changes in your actual implementation. So that is what we call as a maintenance. Maintenance comes later. Once your program is implemented, executed, tested successfully, maintenance part comes later. After the program development is completed, then there will be the maintenance. Maintenance is what? Again, you will be asked to make few changes in the program which you have written already. So all these things you also need to take into consideration when you are working on complex problem. Okay, and now see, if you will go in more detail, then these are the steps which appears in the problem solving concept. Very first step, as we have already discussed, define problem. So herein what we have written for same, problem identification. Identify what the problem actually is. So first step in problem solving is what? Identification of the problem. Now what is the second phase in the problem solving cycle? It is problem analysis. What is problem analysis? Sorry, problem analysis, it simply means break down the problem into smaller sub problems. Break down the main problem into smaller sub problems so that it will be easy for you to work on a individual parts of the program. Okay, then once you subdivide that problem into small sub problems, third step means algorithm design. Algorithm design, we have just seen the sorting example. So numbers are to be sorted, that is a problem, fine, but using which algorithm you want to sort the numbers? Is it bubble sort, merge sort, selection sort, or which type of sort? So that actually you need to decide in the algorithm design step. So algorithm design simply means design the step-by-step procedure for solving a particular problem. Algorithm is ready, then you can go for implementation of the program. Implementation of program is simply called as program development. So implement the algorithm. Of course, we are going to give our algorithm as an input to some programming. I mean, you are writing a program in a programming language which will be given as an input to the computer. So once your program is developed, once you write the program completely, then you will execute that program. So debugging and testing is the next phase in solving a problem. So what is debugging and what is testing? Debugging is find out and remove all possible errors in the given solution. So once you run your program, if you find there are some errors, remove all those errors from the program is nothing but a debugging phase. Now what is testing phase? Testing phase simply means to test whether output generated is correct or not. Because see, if you have written program for sorting the numbers, if you are written program for sorting the numbers, and that too if you are using say ascending order, but if output generated is in descending order, then your program is not meeting the input criteria or algorithm criteria, because we wanted to sort numbers in the ascending order, but it is giving numbers in the descending order. Maybe instead of less than, you have used greater than sign there. So likewise, you need to find out the possible set of errors from your program, and then you just test it whether your program is behaving in the way you wanted to work it out. Okay, so once your program is even tested successfully, then you will write a proper documentation. Now see, as a naive programmers, we all are in second year, you all are in second year, so we are writing very simple programs. Therein it may not be necessary to write the documentation, but consider if you have written a very large software, large in the sense a software which is consisting of multiple computer programs. So in that case, documentation is mandatory. What is documentation? When you give your product to the customer, then he should be able to understand how to use that product. So your product, with every device when we purchase from the market, user manual comes with that. Let it be a mobile, let it be any other electronic device, it will come with a user manual how to use it. So what your documentation will tell? Your documentation will tell how to use your algorithm, what is the expected set of input, what are the do's and don'ts when your program will work correctly. Okay, so all these kind of things you will write in the documentation. So prepare the document that describes the solution by telling what is the expected input. So I hope now it is clear, like what are the phases in a problem solving concept. Okay, fine. Then till now what we have discussed from where the name algorithm came, and then we have discussed what is problem solving technique and what are the general steps which occur in the problem solving. Now next and very important, generally a question of 4 marks is asked on this particular topic, that is what are the characteristics of an algorithm. Algorithm you're writing, that is okay. Suppose if I will ask you to write a set of steps needed to prepare a tea, what is the problem given? We want to prepare a tea. Now it may happen that see, you are 60 odd students in a class, so multiple solutions will come from you to prepare a tea. Like somebody will say that in a traditional way what we are doing, take a bowl or take something, then water and then sugar, tea powder, boil it and add some milk and your tea is ready. But somebody may say that I am using milk, and then I am adding sugar, and then I am just dipping the tea powder. So that is another way. Somebody will prefer lemon tea, somebody will prefer masala tea, and so on. So it depends on the user, like what is the preferable way of solving that particular problem will change. So multiple solutions will come from the students when I ask about how to prepare a tea. But then the question is how to analyze which tea was better. So if I am jury and if I am asked to announce which tea is best, so I should have something, some parameters based on which I will find out whose tea was the best tea. Now I hope you might have understood. Algorithm anybody can write, then but then your algorithm should satisfy some characteristics, and on the screen you can see few of the characteristics, they are already mentioned. So first is well defined inputs. Your algorithm must take well defined inputs. Consider we have mixer in a house. Okay, so if we want to grind something, then it is mandatory for us to put all those ingredients in the mixie jar, right? Therein I can't use something else to grind it. Are you getting? Therein we can't use some other pot to grind the ingredients in the mixer. Well defined input. So if you have small ingredients to be grinded, use small jar. If you want to go for juice, go for a juicer and something else. Okay. So well defined input, this simply means that your program is always expected to work on possible set of inputs. So your algorithm should tell what are the well-defined set of inputs applicable for that particular program. Then the next thing is your algorithm should have clear and unambiguous set of steps. What is clear is okay, but what is unambiguous? Unambiguous means what? Two steps in algorithm, they should not be same. Like your algorithm should not have multiple steps whose meaning is same. So that's why we have written word unambiguous. Unambiguous, it simply means unique steps. So meaning of unambiguous is what? There should not be any conflict in between two steps which are written in the algorithm. Okay, then third characteristic of algorithm, it means algorithm should be independent. Now what is independent? It is not like algorithm should be written by considering some XYZ programming language. No. If you are asked to write an algorithm, see that you are writing very generalized steps in that. It should not take either C into consideration or C++ into consideration or Python in consideration. No. Okay. So see that algorithm which you have written is language independent and not reflecting structure of writing program in any programming language. Okay, the next characteristic of algorithm is feasible. Feasible means again the same thing. I can't count how many stars are there in the sky, right? So it should be feasible. Feasible means what? It should be solvable. Whatever algorithm you have written, it should be solvable. It should be possible for the user to implement that algorithm using some particular programming language. Then the next characteristic of algorithm means finiteness. So what is finiteness? Finite means a specific time period. Okay, specific time period. It should not be like your algorithm is running for hours and hours. Okay, so your algorithm, of course you are implementing that algorithm using some programming language, but again see that your algorithm, your program terminates in particular amount of time. Now just for example I am telling you, generally when we use a computer, we have got a central processing unit or a processor. Like we say that I have i5 processor, i7 processor, i3 processor, है ना? And nowadays if you look at the latest desktops or laptops in the market, they are like quad core processor, or few are like octa core processor, dual core processor, hexa core processor. What does they mean? So if I have quad core processor, does it really mean that there are 4 processors in my laptop? No. So later on you will come to know, when you will study microprocessors, you will come to know. So core is the part of your processor which is responsible for performing some computation. Okay, so when I say I have 4 cores on my laptop, it simply means that 4 computational units of the processor are repeated. Okay, so if you consider very complex computational task which is given as an input to the computer, you know that nowadays we can have very complex problems which are giving as an input to the computer. Suppose I give a task like if you consider Facebook as an example, I want to find out how many users are there on the Facebook, and then I want to print a friend list of all the users on the Facebook. Isn't it a complicated task? And just